So here's the thing, like I was saying, it really doesn't matter where you're at, the experience you have or lack thereof. If you've got a phone, if you can watch a live stream, then you can make videos and move forward. You might want a fancy camera, but you might not have one, but I still believe that you can move forward and make it happen, okay? It's so important to just start where you're at, use what you got, and take the next step. And it can be overwhelming, right? Like there's so much information. And oftentimes I really see this as a problem for folks. Like it gets in the way. Like, how do I move forward? What exactly do I need to do? There must be the secret thing. There must be something about the algorithm. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. 98% of you know exactly what to do. I think you're looking for something else. You know, it's really often not about finding the secret ingredient, but rather deleting that which is holding you back. So the thing I want to encourage you with is to have that strong fortitude and to really look inside and have a certain level of self-awareness where you can say, you know, this is who I am today. This is where I'm at in the journey. And I want to move forward and I want to grow. And the more you can see things as they are, which is challenging, but you can do it, right? If at any point you're unsure, just say, well, I'm unsure, but I'm going to figure it out. And in time, I'll be able to do that. You know, being self aware, having that awareness of what you need to focus on, where you're at in the journey, how you can improve will allow you to do just that. And I sure wish I could see my notes. And it's like, you know, that's what this is really about today. It's about having that understanding of who you are, where you want to go, and how you're going to make it happen. So I think one of the things I can do is, you know, if I do that, yeah, okay. I think we're just going to keep going. I'm thinking and presenting all at the same time, trying to solve problems. So it really begins with deciding you want to move forward and you want those results. Okay. Once you start really accepting responsibility for your life, where you're at, what you want, when you believe that you can do it, if other people have done it on YouTube, you can too. Right. And once you decide, you know, you have that belief in yourself, you have that self-awareness. Well, then it's just easier. You know, what exactly does that mean, though? Well, it's having the conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. It involves understanding one's own strengths and weaknesses, thoughts, and beliefs. And the more we can move forward with that, it's just so much easier to move forward and make it happen. I see. I see. Okay. I'm kind of getting used to having to present on the fly, but we're making it happen. And that gives you control in your life. By accepting that responsibility for your actions and decisions, you acknowledge that you have the power to shape your own experiences and outcomes. It's really, really powerful. You know, once you decide, okay, and it's like I'm on oh, this is funny. I gotta remember to forward 2 slides. I'm looking at my slides on my iPad, and I'm looking at the screen. So, that's the thing I wanna really encourage you to do, is to have that self-awareness and to really accept responsibility. The second thing that does is it fosters personal growth. When you take responsibility, you learn from your mistakes, and you can succeed, which can help you to improve and develop, right? I mean, sure, it's not easy, but fact of the matter is so many people have done it as well. It's like these slides. Oh, okay, I see. So let's go one back. Huh, it's like I'm I think so. It should be. Yeah, there we go. And if you're wondering, what exactly does this have to do with YouTube? You know, how is this really going to help me grow? Well, it has everything to do with YouTube because once you know exactly how the algorithm works, once you understand what you need to improve on, once you understand and accept responsibility, you can make changes, you can make adjustments. So I'd say this has a lot to do with exactly how to move forward and grow. As we move forward, I'm going to share what I believe is truly a list of the most important things that we want to focus on as YouTube creators. And it bums me out because I would say half of the questions I see, they never focus on these things. Or it's about like thumbnail and title, which I agree, that's really important, but there's so much more to YouTube than that. We don't even get to video at that point. I mean, that's just graphics. It's just sales and marketing. It's a billboard. So as we move forward, I'm going to share the 15 most important things to focus on in order to create videos that viewers really love. But those things won't really matter again if you're not able to focus on them. If you are blaming the algorithm, if you're comparing your results to someone else, it really doesn't matter, sadly, right? Another element I want to talk about before we get to those 15 things is to really focus on your journey, where you're at in the process. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what someone else is doing. That's their journey. And everybody comes to that starting line of YouTube, that first video upload, with different skills and abilities. And it's really easy to look at someone and go, woe is me, I wish I had that. But we don't really have the full story. Do you know what I mean? We don't really know exactly what's going on. And the moment we do that, we kind of rob ourselves of the opportunity to guess what? To take responsibility, to self-examine, to be self-aware, and to figure out what to do because we're not focused on that. We're too busy like, oh, I wish I had that thing, which is really a bummer. So, for me, I've talked about this before. I talked about how when I got started, me and my pal Nick, we were coming up together. We both had 2,000 subscribers and we became friends, and that was cool. And we're still friends. And I value that friendship. And for a while, it was really hard for me. I'm like, gosh, I just feel less than. And then I realized, why are you doing this to yourself? It's just such a waste of who you are and what you're capable of. So those are some thoughts on having a mindset that can help us to move forward and to focus too, right? It's really important to focus on the right things. Then we kind of have to navigate success. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that exactly means as we move forward. And if you're just coming in, I want to say welcome. It's good to see you here. We have 34 people here. Really appreciate you being here. Just kind of poking around. Seems like we're doing good now. Seems like we're starting to find our groove. That was a little bit sad, but it happens. So it's like, I want to ask you about success in your journey. What does success mean to you? What does it look like? Like, I want to encourage you to get really clear on that thing. Well, I want a lot of views and subscribers. Okay, awesome. That's fantastic. Me too. I want a whole lot of subscribers, right? But what do you really want? And if it just had to be one single thing, just one thing, is it growth? Is it doing your own thing? Is it uploading videos on different topics? This is the rub. This is really what success looks like. And I think, again, the more we're self-aware in what we really want and what we're willing to sacrifice, then the more likely we can course forward and make decisions that will allow us to really find that path. One of the things to think about is that it's really easy to want something, right? Like it's easy to want a lot of subscribers, but what do we need to do to make that happen? And furthermore, like I was saying, what are we willing to sacrifice? Because if you're hell bent on growing a channel, then you're gonna sacrifice the things that need to be sacrificed. It doesn't mean you put YouTube above family, but YouTube has to come pretty high up in the pecking order. And that's one of the things to really think about. We're at this crossroads and we're trying to figure out exactly what success looks like and what we need to do to move forward. Hey, Miguel, what's happening, brother? Good to see you, man. That for me is again all about self-awareness. I'll tell you right now, I am not as hell bent on growing, but that means nothing in terms of my wanting to upload and publish. I'm a little bit more into it right now for the art and for what I want to talk about. Mindset in YouTube, that is not the way to grow on YouTube. But I'm here for those people that want it really bad. And a lot of you, you're going to think you are. I really do. But we're going to know in 6 months, like how much are you willing to put in? How much are you willing to sacrifice? What are the things that you do? Because that really determines, again, that mindset and ability to move forward, and make it happen. For example, I have here in my notes, we're 20 minutes into this presentation, and I'm mentioning, this is really for a smaller audience, but I want to make this for myself. And if this gets less views because it's not ninja tricks that anyone can talk about, like low level little tricks that don't really have a huge impact, I'm okay with that. I'd rather talk about this stuff now and frame those 15 elements, because if you can't focus on the 15 most important things, who cares? You know what I mean? And we come back to sacrifice. So, what are you willing to sacrifice? If you're a gamer, are you willing to sacrifice game time in order to spend more time editing? If you want to grow on YouTube, are you willing to sacrifice TV time in order to make it happen? What are you willing to sacrifice and not? You know what I mean? I mean, for me, I think this is, again, really important. And it's about having this self-awareness of who I am, what I desire. I don't like, I'm rocking the poodle stuff. When I started, I thought it was so weird. And I'm like, I'm comfortable with, I did it. I climbed the mountain and I'm happy with my results. And, not everybody will. Some people will be like, who is this guy? Hey, Johnny, what's cracking? Good to see you. Yarn Greek Geek. So happy that you're here again. So sacrifice is really an important topic to really examine and to think about as we move forward. So let's talk about that list, right? We're getting there. Once we have these kind of self-awareness elements in place, I think it's just a little bit easier then to know how to make decisions. And as we move forward, I'm going to give you the method. Again, my coaching clients have heard me talk about it. If you've been on my channel, you've heard me talk about it. But, this is kind of the new and updated process. And it truly is a journey. It's a step-by-step process that we need to take in order to achieve the results that we're looking for. And any time we start, oh, I see other people growing faster, you're not them. It doesn't matter. I can't help you. And sadly, when you're thinking about that, you're not striving to focus on the way forward. You're not solving a problem. You're wallowing in the pity of not growing. And I've been there. I've done it. Like I said, I'm a little bit older and probably a little bit wiser too. I'm a deeply flawed human, just like every human on the planet. But, I've done this thing a few times now. So what we're going to talk about is what I like to refer to as, who knows what that represents? Anybody? That's the looping method, gang. And look at that. What is that gibberish? Now, I cleaned up most of the slides, which were AI generated, but I think you guys could probably see the power. Oh my God. I've been watching too many video essays on the Sith Lords, the power. um, that is the looping method. And if you've ever been overwhelmed, yeah, I know you do, Ken. I can see that, brother, that you sacrifice personal time to create. Yeah, me too, man. You know, I've been sacrificing my love of wildlife photography because I can't do it all. It's impossible. I still do it now and then, once a week, twice a month. I'll do it more in the summer. I'll figure out a way to make it happen, but you just can't do everything. So it's really what we're going to talk about as we start to move forward is what I call the looping method, right? And it's this idea that we're going to really break down the 15 most important things, and then we're going to really self-examine. We're going to be self-aware of what needs the most work after we've published a video. So the process is really simple, right? I mean, it's not hard. If you're overwhelmed, well, then just write this down. Write this down. Just say, hey, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And when I'm ready, I can let that go and I can simply focus on these 15 things. I can make a video. Now, I don't know what that is, but we're live, so we're just going to go with it. I can make a video to the best of my abilities right now, today. And then I can move forward after I've published. I can catch my breath. I can look at the video and I can say, you know what? I could spend some time with my editing. And if I improve my editing, that would result in a better video, right? So that's really what we're going to uh, move forward with as we continue here. And just to let you know, wow, Hudson Vintage, I appreciate that so much. Thank you for the super chat. I developed what I'm sharing with you guys right now. It was a necessity for me to grow. I was quirky and fun and weird, and regular viewers know that. But if you haven't seen the early videos, then you don't know how quirky and weird I can be. I can get out there. And let me tell you, I've made some videos the last few days. You haven't seen it, they've been too much. But that's okay because I know it's part of my process. When I started applying this 15-step process, the looping method, it gave me a way to self-examine, to improve what needs to be improved. And I went from 1,500 subscribers a month to 7,000 over the course of a year and a half. Okay. That's how long it takes for me. For you, it might take 6 months. It might take you 3 years. It's based on your ability to move forward and make the changes needed and self-examine like we've talked about. And I know I'm going slow, but I'm just trying to take my time. I'm not trying to rush. I want to emphasize every point because they're all really important. And we start with the missing link, right? So when I say there's 15 things right in front of us, and all we need to do is identify what sucks the most. And when I hear YouTubers say, there's nothing I can do, I want to puke. It's hard for me to understand. I mean, how can, I've done everything or, and again, I think it's this lack of willingness to take responsibility, this lack of self-awareness. And if you're like, I've kind of been there and I hear what you're saying and I agree. Well, I just want to encourage you. If you're like, I can't do it, stop, please. I do want you to succeed. Tell yourself you'll figure it out. Tell yourself, I'm going to become self-aware. That's something I want in my life, right? And so what we do is we publish a video, we identify the weakest link. My audio sucks. I didn't get to the content for 2 minutes. My intro was horrible. I need to work on that. And we're going to go over all of these elements. And again, that's what's so powerful and beautiful about this. My goal is to polish this training because I know at its core it's wicked good. because it helps people to see what they need to improve through the eyes of the viewers, right? Okay, what do we got next? A lot of people, they stay stuck right here. You know, if all we're thinking is it's so overwhelming and we don't decide to simplify it, guess what? It stays overwhelming. Like, gang, it's not rocket science, right? We're making videos. And again, I think when we just let go of trying to find there must be something about the algorithm. I think when we let go of that, we're going to be in a much, much better position to move forward. Hey, what's going on there? Crash Crafts Unleashed by Robin. Good to see you. I'm glad you made it. What have I missed? You missed all the pep talk, Kathy. A lot of good stuff about mindset, but we're just getting to really the things to focus on. And also, we talked about how to really leverage this looping method of always publishing, self examining our videos, and then moving forward. Okay. So these are the 15 most important things. And I want to let you know these are based on what the viewers value. If you want to grow, if your recipe, so right now, my recipe is I want to create the content that resonates with me, but I know there's an overlap, right? I know that there will be people that will listen to my endless ramblings about mindset combined with the tactical information that I'm going to drop right now. You know, I know we have both of those things happening. Um, so I'm 60/40. I was probably 75/25 when I was at my peak. And I'm a little bit more on the creative stuff I want to explore right now. But I know there's still an audience for that. Okay. Now here's the deal. The first thing I want to share is that I've got item number 15 as focused, consistent effort. And I want to talk about what that means to me personally. And I want to mention 2 or 3 words: quitting YouTube. Anytime we put out a focused, consistent effort and we push and we strive and we do our best to raise the bar, that takes a lot of mental strain, and we experience ups and downs. It's a challenge, and people need to take a break. For me personally, I'm not a fan of having a consistent upload schedule. Now, that does not mean for a moment that you just upload willy-nilly. In fact, I think when you're not growing and you're not uploading on a regular basis, then you're at a huge deficit and you'll probably never make it happen because you can't get in that flow of really publishing a video, examining the video, identifying the weakest link, and moving forward and striving to fix it. If you publish a video today and then you're like, oh, my audio's bad, and then you make your next video in 5 weeks, that's too much of a lag time in terms of gaining the momentum of being a creator. I've talked about momentum in the past, and a lot of people get really hung up on this idea of it's momentum with the algorithm. But for me, it's much more about momentum with publishing and learning all my equipment and overcoming adversity and always improving and so on. So for me, I'm much more interested in today publishing a body of work I'm proud of. So when I'm done and I'm gone from this planet, I know it sounds a little much, but at the same time, it's true. You know, like this is YouTube it is the platform. A lot of people are like, I don't want to make a movie. I want to grow on YouTube. That is the destination. YouTube is no longer a stepping stone towards the movies. YouTube is the thing. So when I'm done, I want to look back and say I did something that was of value, right? So a lot of times I publish willy-nilly anytime because when it's done, the moment I publish it, that's awesome. It's off my plate and I can start focusing on the future, taking the next step. So, you know, I don't get too hung up on when should I publish because it's not one of the 15 most important things. So for me, focused, consistent effort just means I need to be uploading regularly, but I don't get too hung up on, you know, I upload every Wednesday kind of a thing. Item number 14 is really having your own unique voice. And again, it's absolutely impossible to create your own brand, to understand what your morality is, to understand what influences you and the things that make your content unique and different from other people if you're not uploading it, every other week at a very minimum, especially when it's the season to grow, when you want it bad. I think there has to be a level of output that reflects that. Most of us just don't come to YouTube with experience like Casey Neistat had. And even Casey Neistat, years and years with making videos, it still took him years to really reach a super high level. He reached a high level, but to reach his peak, he had to spend time and get into that momentum of creating. So understand, if you're trying to figure out your brand, let it go. It doesn't matter. Publish the next video and your brand will find you. Your audience will tell you. Subscribe and feed a poodle. That I didn't read that in a book. Nick Nimmin saying doing, and like the whole audience being like, whoa, what did he say? And now that's part of his brand. Niminati, that didn't come to Nick. He didn't dream it up. The audience. And he found his way there by publishing, by getting in the act of moving forward, by taking the needed steps. Okay, now let's see what this slide says. Now, as we move forward, as my notes say, I want to mention one thing. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. If you're like, I'm not sure this applies to me, you're fooling yourself. You know what I mean? Like, man, come on, please. I want you to win. Like, we're going to talk about things and it won't apply to you, but ask, instead of saying, oh, this doesn't matter for me, man, like either A, leave, don't spend time with me. Like, I want you to succeed. Find someone that you really resonate with. But if you're sort of like, there's something about what he's sharing, but then I get to the part about like filming and how your video looks and you're like, I'm a gamer, this doesn't matter. Well, hold on. Ask yourself, well, what can I do so maybe it does? And one of the things you can do is, if you're ever wondering, does this really apply for my niche? Is look at the channels in your space that have what you want. And I think when we do this, right, when we examine what we're trying to achieve and we look at the channels that have what we want, and if we notice they all have really nice backdrops, well, goddamn, maybe you should have a nice backdrop too. Again, you know what I mean? It's like, it's really not that hard. What's hard is the emotional toil. What's hard is we're going to have expectations even when we know we shouldn't. 13 is the target audience. Now check this out. This is important. What does that really mean? Like, we've heard this before, right? The target audience. Well, the target audience is a group of viewers who frequently watch videos on a specific subject. It's not your subscribers. A target audience is a group of viewers who frequently watch videos on a specific subject, but who haven't found or subscribed to your channel yet. You always want to be making videos for these very people, because when you do that, you'll always be thinking about connecting with the audience that hasn't found you yet, and you'll be focused on their wants, their needs, their topics, because like, you really want to grow. You've decided, well, I really want to grow. Well, then it's their topics. You're making their videos. You're just the supplier of what they want. You know what I mean? You've got to take what you do and what makes your videos unique. You've got to figure out your branding and your quirky antics, and Nick's Niminati and I'm Poodles. Like, all of these things over time have an impact, but it's not subscribers. Because if you follow this, right? If you follow the target audience, well, then every video you publish will always be in alignment with that target audience. Now, this next one, now we're at number 12, okay? Oh, so did we lose the visuals, guys? I can't Did we lose the visuals? Man, it looks like, or maybe it's just we're good. Okay, I need to refresh my page. That's good. There's always got to be a break every 20 minutes where the presenter checks to make sure everything is okay. Now, check this out. This creates a really powerful first impression, and you only get one. Now, every time you upload a video, you're making a first impression. Think about that. Every video you publish is a first impression for some viewers. The better your videos get, the better the first impression. And this happens to be a really easy win. I wonder, does it say how long where does it say how long I've been live? I'm curious. Interesting. Oh, right there, 52 minutes. Okay. Good. So, a really great way to create that first impression, like I mentioned, is to create a visually pleasing backdrop. I mean, as soon as someone clicks on your video, what they see tells a story. If you've got a messy, background, clean it up. Use what you got, start where you're at, do the best you can and move forward. Doesn't need to be this amazing kind of thing. Doesn't have to be something you spend a bunch of money on, but you can organize, you can simplify, and you can, clean the space, and that will have a really positive impact on your ability to connect with viewers and give them something that's pretty to look at, something that's interesting to look at. This is a visual medium. If you're a gamer, you're like, well, I don't need a backdrop. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, I think there's still ways that you can incorporate this. And the thing to think about is, well, what about your overlay, right, for stream? What about the images and the visuals they see the moment they come into your video, right? There are all kinds of things that we can do to create that super easy win. This is me against a white wall, cream. It's pretty boring. It's not too exciting. And it doesn't show much effort, but just a few changes can allow us to create something pleasing. This is a picture I took a couple of years ago. My house was kind of cleaned up. I was working on a presentation. I was on this slide. I cleaned up for about 10 minutes and I took this photo. Like, you don't need to have a YouTube studio. You can film in your living room. You can film in all kinds of places and you can still make it look good. Again, start where you're at, use what you got, and take the next step. I still kind of like that print above my fireplace. Now I've got a photo that I took of the moon rising over Denver, but can kind of see it right now. This was taken with my iPhone, but you still get kind of that blurry background based on portrait mode. It looks good. It's simple. I did the best I could with what I had, and I moved forward. Here's the thing: success leaves clues, right? And again, I want you to think about, with all of these 15 items that we're going through, you can take these items and you can break them down in a way where you can think, well, what is my competition doing? The people that have what I want, the people with views and subscribers and an audience, what does their backdrop look like? How about their overlays on Twitch? What about, their thumbnails? All these things, you can study what they do compared with what you're doing to get some insight on what you can improve on. That was one of the big things that I did when I was growing. Is I made those judgment calls. Really, really helpful. Hey, gang, I want to say thank you so much for your positivity, your support. I know we had a lot of technical difficulties when we started, and we overcame them. So thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thank you for hitting that like button. I noticed we have 31 likes. That's pretty epic and awesome. Very much appreciate that. And there's 44 people watching. Thank you so much. Yeah, success leaves clues. I mean, that was a pretty cool graphic, don't you think? And there was one word that was misspelled, so I erased it. And so people are like, "Oh my god, it's dumb and it makes mistakes." Nothing's perfect. Like, if you don't like it, cool, don't worry about it. Don't use it. But like, man, for me, like I'm really loving AI. Always be learning, always be striving to improve. I can see what's coming and it's very exciting for me. So thanks for those likes, gang. I really appreciate it. So a couple of things about, the backdrop. Organized and clean. Less is more. Bookshelves. Share what you love. Colored lights are great, or green screen. Have a physical background. Do what you want to do. Take inspiration from others and then make it your own. Okay, next up, we're going to talk about some tools. We're going to talk about how to deal with oversaturation and some of the ways you can move forward and get some really, really great results. And I just want to know, do you think it's possible? Like where are you at? And do me a favor. I mean, we're here, right? Like just how did you feel before you came into this live stream? Were you feeling a little unsure, a little beaten down, really excited? Like I'd love to know where you're at with your journey on YouTube. And I always really value honesty. Yeah, I am not a cat. Yeah, I'm not a cat either. AI is wonderful. There are a lot of really great tools, and it's just how you use it. Nothing more, nothing less. Confused but excited. Yeah, well, that's pretty good, Ken. I think as long as you're excited, and I mean, sometimes it can be a bit baffling, but the biggest thing that I've shared that I have in common with you is we both took somewhat of a break and being able just to focus on where I'm at and value that, say, hey, I have people showing up and some people don't. There are plenty of channels that don't have what I have right now. And I'm grateful to have what I want. Excited but terrified. Amy, here's the good news. Arnie, rather. I'm sorry, this screen is a bit small. Arnie, if you're excited but terrified, I want to encourage you to take the next step and start publishing. If that's what you're afraid of, or maybe you're publishing, but it just seemed like just keep taking the next step. AJ says, I came to learn from the best. Appreciate that, brother. At this point, I'm excited, ready to grow and learn from my mistakes. Bam, that's what I'm talking about. Because we all make them. I've made so many mistakes. You know what I mean? I can't right those wrongs, but I can do my best today to move forward and create content that matters to people. I just need to start. Randy, do it, please. Make a video. You can't theorize your way to success. It's not as scary after you've done it a while. I'm a pretty good speaker. I am. I think well on my feet. And I used to be incredibly nervous when I took the stage. And yet they would all show up to see me. I remember one year talking about being a bit nervous to get started. I was at an event. I had just released my book, Trust Funnel, and the room was packed. There was another one or two events going on, but most people were in to see my presentation because I wrote this book. And the way I launched this book was, it was pretty neat. Like I had hundreds and hundreds of people sharing this book multiple times on Facebook, and I never really asked for that, not once. But I did things in a way not to manipulate, but to create an event. It was shared again and again. So I get to this event, and sure enough, I've got a talk. Everybody shows up, and other speakers mentioned to the to the guy putting on the event. He said, "Oh, that Brian Johnson." And I was pretty nervous, like I said. I was very nervous for a long time, and I never thought I'd get over it. And I can tell you, I actually keynoted a YouTube event in Florida. It's actually just Roberto's down there right now. I keynoted 2 or 3 years ago. Podcast Movement, is it? I think that's what it is. And I kind of had reached this place where I wasn't nervous anymore. Like there was no reason to be nervous. I did the work. I gained the results. I was growing fast. I had something to share. It was less about me, and it was more about just sharing, what I've learned. Like, hey, use this. Yarn Geek, I've been posting 2 videos a week instead of 7, and my views have skyrocketed. Wonderful. Fantastic. I love that. Congratulations. Little Craft, I'm glad you're able to check out this live. This is fun. Okay, so let's keep moving forward. Here's the thing. Oversaturation, yes, but don't think you can't compete, because you can. And again, when you're worried and you don't think you can figure it out, just say, I'm going to figure it out. Try your best to lean into the positivity, because the negative isn't going to help you move forward. Not in my experience. So here's the thing. I published these videos, when my channel was literally a few weeks old. These videos were published probably on week 10 or 11 of my channel. And this one video, 779,000 views. And there are channels doing this right now on YouTube. These are my results. Other people are doing it. And one of the things I did was I just focused on really identifying the right kind of topics to cover. And that brings us to item number 11, which is reducing the competition. Here's the thing. When we talk about reducing the competition, it's really about leveraging keyword phrases. Now, I like to think of keyword phrases these days more as topics, but it's the same dang thing. It's the same thing. Some people say, "Oh, I don't like to use keyword phrases." And I'm like, your title, which says don't use keyword phrases, has keyword phrases. So it's just semantics. That's a good way to get people to click on a video, perhaps. How do we do it? Well, this is TubeBuddy, and I want to illustrate a few things. When you use TubeBuddy, you can add in a keyword phrase, and notice the 2 green arrows on the right. They're pointing to one metric that says number of videos in search results. Now, this is not about trying to rank in search. It's not about trying to decode the algorithm. Excuse me. It's about understanding what viewers are interested. It's a slight difference, but it's a difference, right? It's understanding what viewers want. That's the demand. Viewers are saying, I demand this video from you, okay? And when you make a video that has fewer results in the search results, well, it's also a good indication that there's fewer results across YouTube as a whole. It's just how this tool works. And sadly, I wasn't on the board when they designed it, or we would have had different language. We use what we got, we take the next step. Again, same kind of thing. Let go of the overall score and simply focus on the amount of search results, the amount of videos in search results. Again, the 2 green arrows. And then the second one is optimization strength. So what that means is how well are the titles and descriptions optimized for that video topic / keyword phrase, right? And so, for example, what I found is if I tried to get views for how to get views on YouTube when my channel was small, that was really not just oversaturated, but everyone that makes those videos knows how to make great videos. It's really hard, but there's a lot fewer people looking for videos on iMovie editing. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to get results so I can demonstrate to you to make it easier for you to believe me. So when I started out, I published videos on a subtopic because I knew there was a demand, audience demand, and I knew there wasn't as much competition. So that's what I did, and it worked. And I did that through TubeBuddy. Now, I also want to mention Opus Clip. Now, I started using Opus Clip, uh, and I absolutely loved it because, like these live streams that I do, I can chop them up, I can create shorts, I can publish them to my channel, and it's a great way for me to focus on what I love and focus solely on YouTube. What can I do to focus just on YouTube? Not to be all scattered. I'm on this platform and that, but just on YouTube. And then I can still syndicate to TikTok, to Instagram. I can get views from shorts. And I personally believe as long as you're striving to grow with long form content, if that's what you love, you'll be able to do that whether you publish shorts or not. I've seen a lot of these videos, and some of you may be in a state of almost paranoia because the titles are so compelling and they're preying on the fear of viewers. Like, oh my God, I published shorts and it crushed my channel. I don't buy it. I believe what happens is, depending on the creator, there's a likelihood or not that they have the ability to publish a long form video that viewers love, right? Now, sure, you might get a lot of people that like shorts and they don't really watch long form videos long, but I don't believe that's going to kill your channel. I think once you start, moving forward and you're focusing on what you love, you'll find your way. The other thing I want to say about shorts and long form content before we move on is, if you're wondering what's the best way to go, I want to encourage you to get in touch with yourself. The title of this video is self-awareness. Like, you want to make videos for viewers, but you have to do it for you too. And if you love making shorts, then make shorts. If you love making long form content, well, do that. Do you know what I mean? Because at that point, then you're going to grow with the thing you love the most. Yeah, Kevin, I hear you. I wish shorts would go on their own platform. I mean, I'll be honest, like for me, it's just the way it is. I can't control that. It is the way it is. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to focus on what matters. These are the 15 things. Make a video, strive to improve, rinse and repeat, and I don't know. It's not the end of the world. Like, I don't need to click and watch a short. And again, I'm gonna try not to pull punches today and share how I feel and do it in a respectful way. But like, yeah, it's not the end of the world for me. Okay, so that's Opus Clip. Really awesome. Check them out. Love working with them. Blessed to be a brand sponsor, brand ambassador. Okay, we're going to talk about viewer engagement next. So as we're publishing long form videos, the thing to think about is that we want to strive to publish videos that viewers engage with. The more we're able to create that engagement, the better. And furthermore, that's the thing that the algorithm rewards. Like, I've talked about this often. Many of you have heard me talk about this, but it bears repeating because it's the thing, again, that matters. Not the tags. Viewers don't care about the tags. They want to be entertained. When someone is entertained or inspired, when you make someone think about a subject differently, when you share some information that's really riveting. For example, I was watching a video essay on Star Wars, and there was all these clips where George Lucas took inspiration from one movie and really added it into Star Wars. And you can literally, it's the same lines, often it's the same visuals, and it made me think differently about Star Wars, and it made me pause. And that's really the thing you want to do. Educate, entertain, inform, inspire, and so on. So, and furthermore, it's right inside YouTube Analytics. Like, it's not complicated. You just have to want to believe that this is what matters. You have to want to believe that you can improve the engagement signals. Like if you hit the like button on this video, thank you. There's 31 likes right now, right? So 39 likes. So if you hit the like button, that's helpful for me. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's going to send a signal that next time I publish, you'll probably see a video from me because you hit like. So, that's an engagement signal, right? And literally when you go into video analytics, and if you're new to me and you're still watching and you're like, oh, this is interesting. He's talking about the algorithm now. Well, when you think about the algorithm on individual videos, not your channel overall, but measure your engagement on individual videos. And it says video analytics. Notice this message I got. Nice. More regular viewers are engaging. It's like success leaves clues, right? More regular viewers are engaging with this video, helping to increase its overall reach. There it is. YouTube just backed it up. Now they're telling us, right? So here they've labeled the analytics engagement, which we want. Here they're telling us that engagement is increasing the overall reach. Here's another way to think about this. Well, like Brian, is it best to have a really high CTR? And how long does my average view duration need to be? There can be all kinds of combinations that will allow you to stand out and get really, really great results. Right? So this particular video had a CTR of 4.2%. It had, at the time of posting, it had 1,900 views, which isn't a ton. 1,900 nonetheless. Notice the CTR, 10.6%. High click-through rate, we already know this. This is important. We need to strive to improve this. What I want to share is what really matters is not the visual aesthetics. That ain't it. It's not how it looks. Although we can use certain strategies to get viewers to notice our thumbnail, but what really matters is the messaging. Okay, the reason this thumbnail had a good click-through rate is what the message was. The video title said how to get views in 2 minutes, and I backed it up and I delivered on that. So that's like, I can get views in 2 minutes. That message is really high. So the thumbnail needs to be visually pleasing or interesting, or it needs to stand out in a way so it grabs attention, but it's really about the messaging, right? Longer average view duration. I just published a video to my channel about 5 or 6 days ago, talking about how right now the meta is going long. It is. It's like long, like I can't believe I've really been going down the video essay hole lately. There are 8-hour videos, 12-hour videos. I saw a thumbnail. It said a brief, the thumbnail said a brief essay, a brief 12-hour essay covering blah, blah, blah. A brief 12 hours. And if you think about what might happen with the algorithm, if you've got a 4% CTR and you compare another video with a 4% CTR, but one video has an average view duration of 10 minutes and the other one has an average view duration of 6 minutes, guess which one is probably going to get more views? Alex, he's in our community, he published a comment to my video that I mentioned saying one of my best performing videos is nothing more than about 10 of my videos edited together and published. It's the same content, people. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the algorithm this time. It's the same content packaged in a way to boost the watch time. Now, so the thing you want to think about is I'm not saying to publish videos that are long and to ramble and not plan. I'm not saying that. I am saying, and in the video that I published, I talked about here's how you do it. If you're like, I'm just getting started, I can barely keep people watching for 3 minutes, no problem. Great. If you're at 3 minutes, then multiply your average view duration by three. If you can keep people watching for 3 minutes or longer, average that number by three, and that's your target average view duration. And then you plan and you come up with the best way to keep viewers watching by incorporating subtopics. You don't just think I want to talk about fishing, you have subtopics. Fishing with a fly, with live bait, locations, summertime, springtime. You think it through so you have something to share and you can renew the interest of the viewer. And this will help to boost, guess what? The engagement signals that YouTube measures. And the biggest one is watch time, right? So longer average view duration is really, really powerful. Yeah, Johnny, you've got great thumbnails and great visuals, and you've done a really great job with that. And it helps, right? It helps to grab attention. Johnny is Go ADHD Go, by the way. Now, by the way, this particular video, it ended up driving 250,000 views, did pretty well. Oh, there it is right there. This video got 230,000 views and gained my channel 6,000 subscribers. And again, let me mention it again. I want you right now to decide. If you're confused by the algorithm, I want to encourage you right now just to end it for yourself so you can focus on what matters, which is actually how you make your videos. And this is it. Think about your videos as they get scored based on these things. The CTR is a scoring element. How long they watch is scoring. If they comment, if the viewer goes back to your channel within a day or two, if they come back, all of these things add up to a score that your video gets assigned. The higher the score, right? You're trying to push the numbers up. So the more you have a high score when it comes to the algorithm in your individual video, because we covered that earlier, the more likely you can move forward and do the things that need to be done. Crafts Unleashed by Robin, publishing a video tonight. It's a premiere, 28 minutes long. Poured my heart into it. Good luck, my friend. Here's the thing. Think about yourself in this particular way. If you really want to grow, but sometimes you doubt yourself, I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself as multiple people and you're the head of the company. Okay, so you've got 3 clones of you, and your highest self, who you are, is in charge of these other minions. Okay, you're the boss. And I want you to think, I'm not sure I can do this, but I'm just going to focus on doing the best I can. I'm going to believe I can figure this out, right? And think about just looking at yourself and thinking, this person is going to be the editor. This person is going to be the one who communicates while on camera. They're the focus. They're the presenter on camera. They're the one that does the voiceover. And you've got to work with those individuals and encourage them to improve. Yes, you're late, my friend, but we're still rolling, Homekeeping Channel, so you made it. Congratulations. But you missed some antics. You missed a lot of interesting imagery, and we're continuing to move forward. Now, here's another video. Okay, so we looked at one particular video that had really high average view duration, and it drove like 250,000 views. This particular video was short, and it still did really, really well. Yeah, multiply yourself, Yarn Geek. And I want you to think about, like, one of your clones is the presenter, and if you're like, I'm not on screen, just again, work with me, right? Well, what about a voiceover? If you're not doing a voiceover, I want to encourage you to. If you're like, I'm not doing it, okay, great. Use an AI voice bot. But really do a voiceover. So this particular video, number one, for a really competitive term for 2 years, and because of that, now here it says 855,000 views. That video now actually has 1.9 million. Still works, you know? Developed this a bit ago, but the method is it's still exactly the same. Here's another way to think about engagement. Remember, there are a lot of things that can happen when a viewer is watching. This particular video that I highlighted, right? This one right here, I'm talking about how to get more views. Well, the whole idea of that video is when viewers get to the end of your video, you need to get them to click on an end screen. And if you're going long, then go long. And that's the strategy. But if you go short, cut it down. But just know your goal is to get the highest percentage of viewers to see your end screen. And I hope you're digging what I'm laying down, because this is powerful, right? If you're going to go short, but strive to get as many people to see your end screen, because the higher the click-through rate, the more likely that's going to send a hell of a signal to the algorithm, and you're going to be able to move forward and make it happen. Now, this particular video had a click-through rate of 20%. 20%. That's next level. When you get 20% of the viewers to click on your next video, that is rock star status achieved. Okay, now that was a 6-minute video, and guess what happened? The video was number one for the keyword term, not only because they clicked and the click-through rate was high. Remember, we're thinking about our individual video as the overall accumulated score that is based on engagement. Can you pick up what I'm laying down? Because I'm feeling it, and I know how powerful this is. This is what matters. And again, that's why I focused on that mindset stuff at the beginning of this presentation, because this takes nuance to get to this level where you're so focused, right, on getting people to click, and you're thinking about all these little things. You don't have time and patience and energy to be bitching about this or comparing your results to that. You just want to focus on making the best video you can. And furthermore, it's freeing. You know, you're no longer complaining and whining. You feel better about things. Number 9 is your video quality. And here's what's up. This is really, really important. If you're filming on an iPhone, it's plenty good. If you're filming and recording your if you're screen recording, that's fine. What really matters is the actual content. What really matters is that it's good enough. Okay. I personally, and this is where I wouldn't say I made a mistake, but I lost sight of what's truly most important. I knew what it was, but I lost sight because I'm so in love with an amazing looking photo. Like today is National Moose Day, and I've taken some amazing photos of moose because I worked hard at it, and I bought a very expensive lens, and I've got a very expensive camera. But the fact of the matter is the quality that you're creating, as long as you're trying to do the best you can with what you got, is plenty. I guarantee an iPhone is plenty. In fact, right now, I've seen amazing channels absolutely blowing up, and they're filming on an iPhone, but they're planning and scripting and editing, and they're doing all the things that matter. And here's the big secret. It's not the camera. It ain't it, baby. No, like I've got lots of really expensive cameras, but that ain't it. That's not the most important thing. An okay camera with good lighting will create great video quality. Yes, I'm using an iPhone. It works great. Absolutely. And when you've got some beautiful lighting, that is when things really shine. Now, I will be honest and share. I believe that the way to move forward is not to use an iPhone. But if you're like, I don't want to buy a camera, and I'm not, more power to you. Awesome. I'm not going to try to change your mind. And I don't think you need to, because the story is the most important thing. The education you provide is the most important thing. Your ability to entertain and engage, to make someone think differently, which we can't do on every video, but now and then when we strive to make that happen, we do. We connect and we get better results, right? And then we can go back, because remember, we're leveraging the looping method. We can go back and say, what did I do to get this result? Something happened. And by now you're going to know, well, I did this new thing. I tried this thing and the results are in. Randy, I'm sorry, but I do my best to foresee the objections and questions that my audience have. Because it ain't the camera. Like, and here's the thing again, the thing I don't like about an iPhone is that the way it processes the image, it over processes and it's not as pretty as that is a Sony a7S III. It's a $3,500 camera. The lens, now that 3,500 bucks is just the camera. The lens is $1,000. I mentioned the photography stuff, the photos of the moose, $11,000 for the lens. That's just the lens. I'm going to buy a camera so I can take a picture with it soon. But like, I'm infatuated with the quality, but it's not as important as the subject matter. So like, if you're like me, great, move past the phone when you can, but it's really all about the lighting. Lighting is extremely important. And furthermore, listen, if you want to know what to buy, you're not allowed to buy a new phone until you have good lighting. There you have it. And I told you, I am going to come down, and I said I was going to be mellow on this live stream. I said I was going to be chill and cool and lo-fi, and I got these nice slides. But the thing is like, if you keep upgrading the camera, but the lighting is actually the thing that you value every time you see a sunrise. You don't love a sunrise because of the camera. You love a sunrise because of the lighting. Do you know what I mean? We need to deliver on the viewer expectations, and we're at number 8. Your thumbnail, you've heard this before, most of you, right? Do the best we can with what we got. Use the iPhone. Buy a Sony ZV-1, the original, used for $500 unboxed. Rodney, first full circle. I really appreciate that super chat. Thank you so much. So, really thinking things through. And since Coffee Talk and Tech shared I suck at this, I'm going to throw down and ask some questions of you, and anybody that wants to get better at this can follow along. If you want to hook viewers, then there are some things you can do, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe 1 or 2 of these things you're not. Write out your videos. Write them out. A lot of people say, before you start making your video, have a title and a thumbnail ready. I agree with you, but there's some nuance to that. Well, exactly when can I start? Because as soon as I have a topic, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 things we need to break down. And I promise to go deep today, and that's what I really want to do. So it's not just the topic, it's a big idea. What is it about the topic, the new iPhone? What is the big idea about your video that's going to pull people in? That is the combination we want. When we think about, I need a great topic that matters to them, and then I strive to come up with a big idea. That is the process, the where we want to start. Now, you might be like, I'm just not sure what the big idea is. Of course not, especially when we just get the idea. There's a reason writer's block is a thing. There's a reason people struggle to create great videos because it's hard. But you know what? When you start to write things down, you're collecting your thoughts. You have the opportunity to think through. You can think through different angles and hooks. And I'll change my titles and thumbnails 20 times as I'm scripting a video. Now, here's the thing, if you're like, I don't script, if you again at the beginning of this presentation we talked about, what do you really want? If you just want to have fun, awesome, don't script. But when you really want to grow, there has to be some sacrifice. You see how all this stuff is kind of tying in? What do you want more? Do you want to do what you want to do? Do you want to do the thing you've always done, or do you want to do something different? And do you want to grow? That's all I want to know. Like, what do you value more? And here's the thing, it doesn't mean this is the right way to go. It doesn't. It just means that these are my ideas. And if you want to do it the way you want to do it, and if you get some subscribers, awesome. And you just like hanging out with creators, I get it. It's not a wrong answer. And I think we need to value that. There's power in that. That's that self-awareness that's in the title of this a video title, right? Self-awareness. But that's a really great way to come up with a great hook, is to think through, and one, I've mentioned this a bunch now, but man, the tools are so good now. So I'll just sit down, I'll come up with an idea, I'll start spitballing, because like oftentimes I just have ideas. The ideas are easy, like this cadence, this tapping, those are the ideas that come to me, right? And so I want to get them out on the page, but then they're a bit messy. So I just tell the AI, I use Notion AI, rewrite this section, improve the writing, make the writing simpler. All of this can be done through AI, and it allows me to work faster in a quality way. I'm telling the AI what to do. The AI is not in control. And so when I do these kind of things, right, it allows me to come up with a big idea over time, because all of a sudden something comes into my mind as I'm scripting and working with the flow of the video. And then all of a sudden, okay, I've got a great idea for a video title and a thumbnail, and it works. I want to grow. Awesome. I want to grow. 49 likes. Wow. Thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate that. It's always, every now and then I check in, I see how many viewers, 36 people here. This is the slow burn, deep dive kind of classroom. Back in the day, I always used to live stream on Friday. I think there's a good chance I'll kind of do that. And if you guys want me to do more of these, like I did a live stream several days ago and we dove into AI. This one is kind of the strategy and how to grow. I'm updating the old stuff. In the 2 or 3 weeks, maybe we'll do another live stream on a Friday and we'll go deep into one specific area. So if you'd like more of that, just let me know in the comments and we'll do that. And then obviously we need to deliver on the viewer expectations, and the faster this happens, the better. And here's the thing, like I think it totally makes sense to, like, the thumbnail needs to look like the first few seconds of the video. Yes. But I think we're starting to uh, overanalyze a little bit at that point. I think if the visuals are pleasing, I think if what you say in the first few seconds of your video is in alignment with what the title and thumbnail promise, you're in the right place. Now, does that mean you shouldn't do it the other way? No, for sure. Absolutely. Create a thumbnail, have the visuals look kind of the same and whatnot. And that's a great way to move forward. But I think sometimes Hmm. We can kind of go down a rabbit hole a bit. And here I say mention the keyword phrase in the first 15 seconds. You know what? I'm going to go against the grain and I'm going to say, I don't really think you need to worry about this too much. As long as you cover the topic in the title, like you're going to have a keyword, but when you think about if I say it right away, is it going to help get more views? I think there's a better approach. And what I would say is you're communicating with a human being. And the moment you try to like stuff in saying the exact keyword phrase, like, yes, the Mr. Beast way is just to say the title. Self-awareness can help you grow your YouTube channel. Let's get started. That's the title of this live stream. So you can do that. But again, I think if we just strive to create something that's captivating and we get into the content and it's clear, people will stick around. That's okay, Ken. It means you want it bad. Visually striking thumbnail. And again, I want to talk about how this works. What I believe is the first thing you see is a thumbnail, right? You're on your phone, you're on your tablet or TV, whatever, and you see a colorful billboard in the shape of a thumbnail. And you look and go, oh, that's pretty. And then your eyes glance over to the title. So you want to have one or two words in your thumbnail, just like this graphic on the screen now. There are 3 words and that's it. Less is more, because you want to make it easy for viewers not to read, but to comprehend. You have that long for them to comprehend the powerful message. Think about your thumbnail as well as your actual video as rule of thirds. When you're designing your backdrop, it should be balanced. If you got some stuff on the left, have some stuff on the right. When you look at my setup right now, there's a little bit of pop on the left, and there's a little bit of pop of orange on the left, and there's a little pop of orange on the right. I'm obsessed with symmetrical visuals because symmetry is one of the things that humans value in beauty. Like if you study, the importance of symmetry in visual aesthetics, it's important. Hey, what's happening? Hobby Farm Rescue, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome. If you're joining us and you're just dropping in now, welcome. Good to see you. We've been going an hour and 38 minutes. Appreciate you here. We're talking about really the most important things that are found in really great videos that stand out and get a lot of views. And right now we're talking about the importance of being visually striking in your thumbnail as well as the video itself. And Johnny says, I'm obsessed with symmetrical stuff. Of course you are, dude. You got ADHD, and I probably do too, man. It is ridiculous. Like I went too far. And I always knew that at the top is story and, engagement. And it's much more about connecting on an emotional level, but it still matters. It's still one of the things we need to focus on, right? Pringles Domain, what's going on? Good to see you. This is such a powerful example of number one, a really bad thumbnail. And it's so funny. I've seen some huge YouTubers, they started doing this back in the day. This is from 2019. The Spitting Brit, he's like, if you have a thumbnail with just a few words, it's like kind of childish and it's not that great, but it stands out. And I'm like, yeah, I did it a year before you did it. And I know that sounds like, oh, I'm first, I'm smart. It's not about, it's just that I'm proud that I came up with a style based on I had to, because I sucked at thumbnails. I still kind of do. I can take great imagery, great photos outdoors, but I just I don't know, for whatever reason, I spend more time on all the other things. But I think remember I mentioned it's not the visual aesthetics. They're important, but it's more about the message that your title and your thumbnail create, right? YouTube secret. So it's bright, it's red, it's 2 words, it stands out like a sore thumb. And then the title, that was a good one. Daryl Eves copied that title. We all copy each other. That's how the game is played. And there's nothing wrong with copying a title, but man, I remember back in the day talking about, really borrow and steal from other people. And I've actually seen some of it's been too much lately. And I'm like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. It's the visual aesthetics that really matter. It's the powerful message that's going to make them click. The visual aesthetic grabs attention. The message is what's going to make them click. The message, easy views, saturated colors. This is another video that was totally like, wow. And I mean, I will make a video about this at some point. Great artists borrow, but professionals steal. You know the saying. But I think there's a line in the sand you don't want to cross, at least for me anyway. Again, balance. Notice the words, just 2 words, iMovie app, arrow. I'm on the right. The words are on the left. Everything is somewhat balanced. I feel like it could be a bit more balanced. Oh, the ads. Yeah. The ads, Kathy, I have them every 30 minutes. So I appreciate the feedback. And I'm sure it does take the focus off. Maybe in the future, what we'll do is when I go live, there won't be any ads, but maybe later I'll add the ads. We'll figure it out. Maybe an ad at the beginning. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep them in every 30 minutes. I don't know. It's tricky trying to balance all that stuff out. No one's style is the best. The goal is to create, again, that visually striking thumbnail that causes the viewer to read the title. That's all it is. The title compels them to click. Okay, let's talk about this. Where are you at when it comes to video editing? Fact of the matter is, I probably spend I probably spend too much time video editing, but I think a lot of people could spend more time and it would help them out. And all we really need to do is cut out the dead space. Know when a section needs to be eliminated. Kill your darlings. I mentioned, scripting out a video. Often what I'll do is I'll have a lot of elements in a video and I might record it. I might cut out all the dead stuff and just get the cuts. No B-roll, no audio, no sound effects. And that might be 10 minutes. But what I actually publish might be 8.5 because there's sometimes I'll cut out stuff. Hey, why are you not focusing on me? There you go, Sony. Not that anyone can see me, but I think it's important to know when to kill your darlings is what I was really talking about, right? So editing allows us to do that. And when I sit down and I edit, what I'm trying to do is create something that's going to hold attention long enough to get the results that I want while delivering what the audience wants too. Because if they click off, they didn't want that. Well, if you think about that, that's a bit tough. Now, you guys are the hardcore crew. And one of the things to really think about is, it's important to keep people coming back and to pay attention to these things, and editing can really help us do that. Casey Neistat said this once, a great video is born in the edit. Boy, do I ever agree. I remember one of the videos that the video that's gotten the most views since I returned about 3 months ago. Check it out. I got inspired to make the video at probably 7 a.m. The video was filmed, edited, and published by 2 p.m. So 6 hours. Okay. I had lunch in the middle probably. And I remember I wanted to create that kinetic energy and I was excited. I wake up normally between 4 and 6, Kathy. I got issues. So as I was editing the video, right, it was based on an update that I've been waiting on. I was trying to get the information. Finally, I had the information. I'm like, I need to publish this immediately. So I went ahead, I filmed the video, and I sat down and I wanted to communicate excitement and I wanted people to feel that. The thumbnail and the title, it said, amazing new YouTube update. And the title and thumbnail reflected that, new update. And as soon as the video starts, it's like, holy smokes, I'm really excited. And that was true. Now, I'll be honest, I added a little bit. I wanted to come across, I wanted people to feel that. Hey, little crafty Nook, take care. Bye, gang. I mean, not yet, not gang, but little crafty Nook. Or I mean, bye. Oh, shit, I should just focus on what I'm doing. Derailed. Is that what we call derailed? It's important, right? Powerful stuff. A great video is born in the edit, and that's really a great way to highlight that. I remember that laughter I added to the beginning of my video. I basically that came in the middle. So as I was editing, there was a little snippet where I was like, "Wow, I'm really excited," and then I cut and I overlaid me laughing and like, "Wow, this is awesome." And that's all I needed was just a few seconds of me saying, "Wow." And that is editing and super powerful. And that might be something you can focus more of your attention on. I don't know exactly where you're at and what would benefit you the most. But again, this is an area that absolutely I know a lot of YouTubers. Yep. Brain jumbled. It would help, right? To focus on the edit. Make it as short as possible. Cut, cut, cut. So even when I'm going long, I'm going to cut a ton. I remember the video that I released, it was 18 or 19 minutes. Originally, my script said it would be about a 40-minute video. I cut it down to under 20, I constantly cutting. So even when I'm trying to go long, I will cut and cut. And if I feel like this is too in the weeds, it's too detailed, people are going to have a hard time, I cut it. If I'm too distracted and I'm not making progress to the next thing, I cut it. Yeah. Crafts Unleashed says editing doesn't take as long as it used to. Me too. I used to spend a lot of time on my editing. It took me so long. And what I can do now in 3 hours is amazing compared to what I used to do. Cut, cut, cut. Item number 5. These are the 5 most important things. Audio is so important. But here's the thing. I see people, they go overboard, and we all do. Like I mentioned how I went overboard with my visuals and expensive lenses and whatnot. And the people do the same thing when it comes to microphones. When I film my videos, I use a $100 microphone. A lot of my peers use microphones that are $300-$400, but my audio sounds pretty good, especially when I'm in the right setting. This setting here, when I'm on my desk, well, it's a little challenging because I have a bit more echo. The voice hits the desk. There's a brick wall really close, so there's a bit more echo. But when I'm in a great location, when the microphone is really close to my mouth, I mean, how does this sound right now? Can you hear the slight improvement? Or maybe it's a big improvement. But literally, the microphone is 2 centimeters away from my mouth. And Kathy says your audio always sounds great. Well, not always. When I started, it sucked. But I used these 15 steps. I improved things over time, and now it sounds pretty good. So get an external mic. Get as close to the mic as you can. Reduce room noise. And again, you've got kids in your house. Do the best you can with what you got. Be realistic. But what I've heard people say, "Oh, like I did that." I'm like, "Are you sure your mic is as close as it can be? Are you sure? Are you sure?" And they're like, "Oh, it sounds better. Oh, I got it close. Oh, you got it closer." And Rachel, if you're still here, nothing but love. Number 4. Yep. And that was number 5. And now we're on number 4. This was a video for me. And remember earlier at the beginning of this presentation, a lot of you have been here for the whole thing, which is awesome. I appreciate that. I said, what do you really value? What does success look like? Hey, Ray, what's going on? History with Ray. Good to see you. If you are 100% hell bent on making a channel grow, if you want more views, then do not do this. That's not me. Every once in a while, I'm going to do what I want to do, and it's close enough. Greatest YouTube studio in America. Most of it's not really what people want to hear about their channel. How can I grow? I don't care about your studio. That's not my core audience and their wants and needs. But again, remember, I am creating videos 60% for the audience and 40% for me. That's where I'm at today. And most of it's there's still a lot to learn. It's not like I'm way off in topics that don't resonate. I still am, but it's just so very important. Ray says he's been a subscriber since 2015. Man, you 2015. I don't know if I even launched the channel in 2015. Must have been right when I started though, which is amazing, Ray. Topic for the target audience. This is that, how to get more views. Now, what do you do when you can't compete? Well, instead of views, you do something like how to actually get subscribers on YouTube, because that's about the same. Getting subscribers and getting views is pretty much about the same, but there's actually a keyword phrase that has actually in it, and it's less competitive. Maybe it's 2015. I'm not, okay, that was amphibious detecting. But that's like I was saying, that's how you compete when, like, this is for the target audience, but it's the most competitive term. I may not be able to make that happen today. So what do? Well, you focus on identifying a topic that's not quite as saturated, like we covered in step, I think it was like 9 or so. Yeah, a lot of you guys have been here for a long time. Number 3. So these are the last 3 things. And then when we're done, we'll take questions if you guys have questions. $40 people watching. $59 likes. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, 40 people watching. Oh, yeah, Johnny, I remember the white background days, and the white background was a little pink in the corner. Oh, goodness. So this is item number 3. The keyword-driven, clickable video title. So you really want to think about, how do you create a video title that gets people to click? And I personally am not a fan of very long very long video titles. Some of my peers do that, and that's totally cool, because it's not the most important thing, right? If you do well enough with most of these things, you'll do well. And you might have different agendas, or you might think, I like really long video titles. Well, as long as you structure it a certain way. And if you're like, I don't have any way and I need help, tell me what to do. Well, then use this format, because I guarantee it works and it's really powerful. Remember, we talked about topics and keyword phrases. The way I think about a keyword phrase is it's nothing more than a topic. That's it. So what I do is I format my video title like this. I have my keyword phrase at the very beginning, right? And I want to create some type of a compelling element. Now, today, sometimes some of my titles won't be formatted this way, but really, I want you to look at the text in the above the actual title. So look at the text above the title and above the thumbnail. It says keyword phrase dash compelling element. This is a really strong way to create titles that entice people to click. I want to encourage you to create titles, if you use this format, that are less than 7 or 8 words. That's it. And this works because you do two things. You basically tell the algorithm what audience you want to connect with. When you put YouTube algorithm, which is a keyword phrase, it's also a topic. Yes, this applies to everything. It's the same. It's always the same, Premier Adventure. 100%. It always applies because the algorithm sees videos the same way. It doesn't know that you're a faceless channel. It just knows this is a video. This is the data. I need to connect the video to the audience. Now, when the algorithm sees the video title starting with a keyword phrase, and it's only 2 or 3 words or 4 words, and then there's a dash or a colon, well, then it easily understands who to push the video out to, who to connect the video to. When the viewer comes on YouTube and they've watched 13 videos on the YouTube algorithm, and my video's popping off, and it sees my video title begins with YouTube algorithm, so the viewer has displayed an interest in videos on the YouTube algorithm, and I just happened to publish a video that starts with YouTube algorithm, and then the second part of the title, right, keyword phrase dash compelling element, is why videos blow up. Wow, I just did all the things a title, a thumbnail, and a topic need to do. I added the keyword phrase, I added the compelling element, I created a simple thumbnail that grabs attention. It stands out. The viewer's been binging videos on the YouTube algorithm, and my videos got great watch time metrics and engagement signals. Of course, YouTube's going to put my video in front of them. And then it's up to me, based on my skills and abilities. Yeah, that video, I need to redo that video. That was a hell of a good video. Man, it was such a good hook. I'm like, why? What is it? Why does one video blow up and the other doesn't? Why does this happen? And there's a graph of the analytics. And why does this happen? And this happens again and again. And this happens, and it's all these videos blowing up. And it was such a good hook. It was such a good thumbnail, and everything lined up. So it's like this combination, keyword phrase, compelling element. Now, when you get advanced, you don't need to think of things being separate. It's all one. Some of my video titles, it's like tricks big YouTubers never share. Well, big YouTubers is a keyword phrase that helps the algorithm, right? Right. Curiosity. Yes, exactly. It creates that curiosity. Super powerful, and it's not hard. And again, here's the thing. So Premier Adventure, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you made it. I've been waiting for you, and I mean that. Because maybe you've been following me, maybe you haven't, but I'm on a mission to help YouTubers out. I've been doing this a while, and I want to see people move forward. And if you're not sure about, does it work for faceless channels, it tells me you're still at a place where you're soaking up information. You're trying to believe in something. Help me believe this will work for my channel. And I want to let you know it 100% will. I want to ask you, are you doing your own voiceover? If not, why not? I want to encourage you to do that. If you're like, well, my English is bad, well, strive to improve it, or make videos for the country, your first language. You know what I mean? Or maybe you're like, I'm not doing that. Okay, great. Well, do your best to create the very best voiceover using the tools we have today so you can connect with the audience. What we talk about on this channel is really how to craft and create powerful videos that get results, because that's how we grow. It's not a hook or an exploit. And I'm not saying you're saying that either. I am saying this is what we talk about here on this channel. I'm thinking of a movie. I'm a movie buff. You guys see Moneyball, where Billy Bean, he goes to like some other ball team, Kansas City, I think. And he's like, "What are we doing here? I thought we were trying to figure out trades." And he's like, "Well, this is how we do things here in Kansas City." And here on the Brian G. Johnson channel, we throw down and we talk about the reality, the challenges of growing a YouTube channel. We talk about how the algorithm works. We talk about striving to improve what matters and doing our best to let go of the other stuff. And the number two thing when it comes to publishing videos, and who's on the edge of their seat right now? I mean, am I connecting with this voiceover? Because if I'm not, I suck. Because I'm trying. But that's the fun of it. It's a performance. You are on stage, and the world is your oyster. And the moment you decide that it shall be, and you kick down the door of opportunity as you announce your arrival wherever life will take you, is the moment you get that kind of result. So the number two thing, drum roll, is your delivery. Nothing comes even close to the importance of how you communicate, what you look like. Doesn't mean you need to be beautiful, fat, thin, ugly. Doesn't mean you need to be white or black. It does mean that before you step in front of the camera, you have to do the best you can. Remember, we kind of said this a few times today. With what you got, you need to do the best you can with what you got right now to publish a video in 5 days. You can't stop putting it off. Did I say that right? You can't continue to put it off. You need to take action. And we know that the way to make it happen is to publish, to step in front of the camera or to step in front of the microphone, to practice your voiceover again and again. You have to say, the moment you click record, the first few words out of my mouth really matter. And I don't want to say or ah, and I want to be looking straight in the camera lens. And I want to think about the viewers that are going to be watching. And frankly, I want to communicate with the one person who clicks on my video, because it's an exchange between me and them. That is what grows channels. That is how to make it happen. And what's sad is that if, there's a lot of, it's like, damn it, it's like the Revenge of the Sith. There's a lot of good and there's a lot of evil. There's good and there's bad. And there's people, I've got this image of YouTubers that are being spoon-fed information that can never really help them grow. You put the wrong hashtags. Oh my God, it makes me so sad. Hashtags can never allow a channel to reach amazing heights. That's not why we tune in. You got to think about who you really love. The reasons you love those YouTubers and those videos, those are ask yourself, why do I love it? And the biggest thing is the structure of your video, the topic, and then how you communicate in the video. Nothing comes even close. And I'll be honest, I screw this up a lot. Sometimes I'm too over the top. Sometimes it's just not quite right. Sometimes I mess up my words, and I'm in my head so much because I know all of this, and that can be a lot of pressure too. So when I do go to press the button, you know what I mean? But I'm becoming more comfortable the more I do it. Oh, that's it? I think I deleted some stuff to try to get it under. Remember when I was deleting those signs, those slides? So that's it, gang. So how do I get rid of present? Shares, how do I get remove? There we go. I think I'm just okay, there we go. That's it. And the more we're able to focus on becoming great video creators, I think that for me is what I want to do. I don't want to get views. I want to become a great video creator because I know there is a correlation between great videos and lots of views. And if I'm always thinking about getting more views, I'm not focused on those 15 items we just went through. Yeah. We did it. We have overcame the obstacles. And this is what I was talking about. Sometimes my delivery is off. Sometimes this is great. Sometimes we need a little fun and excitement when it's all serious. Sometimes we need to get serious. Sometimes we just need to be authentic. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. It's been really fun. And Premiere channel, Premiere, what was it called? Premiere Adventure. Thank you. Just came across your channel a month ago. Now, if you're trying to grow a channel, I want you to think about this, okay? This is an interesting thought, and I just want to share it with you. Here we have an old guy that's way too old, and I definitely feel like is my screen? I definitely feel my okay. Now I see the I'm looking at the aesthetics. Remember I said the aesthetics were important? You see? See, I'm going to move this away. I'm right in the middle. Okay? Orange, orange. Look at the ceiling. Look at the angles. This room is ridiculously hard to make symmetrical, and yet I figured it out. It took me 2 years. But I made it happen. Hey, what's going on, Dale? So like I said, I wanted to kind of break down something that I think is important. Do you believe you can move forward and make it happen? Do you believe you have what it takes to grow on YouTube? No, we're going to leave those on. These are blue blockers. A lot of screens when you're a YouTuber. 72, nice. Think about this. If you're like, can I actually grow? Premiere Adventure, I think was the channel name. Yep, Premiere. Where is it? Yep, Premiere Adventure. You got it, Brian. He said, or she said, I found your channel about a month ago, and now he came back, or she came back, and spending a little time, and just it's awesome to have you here. You're the new blood. You're the next wave. You're the Brian G. Johnson 3.0. We've rebuilt it. We've re-energized, resynthesized, restructurized, reorganized, redominatedized. And we're building the channel back up. And it's fun. And yeah, I used to have more views, but that's okay because things in life, they ebb and flow. And this is a classic of example of this is how it works. You publish a video and it's good enough. It doesn't need to be this amazing thing, but you do your best to always make the best video you can, and then you publish. And if you keep doing that and you're always striving to improve, I promise what'll happen, just like Premiere Adventure, is people will click on your video and they'll subscribe or they'll come back. And, subscribers, do they still matter? Sure, they matter. But all that really matters is we strive. Oh, I'm a broken record. I can't help it. It's how I'm built. We strive to publish great videos and we focus on what the audience wants. and we focus on those 15 elements we focused on today. And here we have it. It's working out. Hey, ADA Trips, good to see you, my friend. Tony, what's going on, brother? Simplify Gardening. Tony is another great example. A coaching client came in, followed some of my stuff for a long time. How many subscribers now, Tony? 300K? 250? 500? Plenty. Pretty neat to see people grow. It's so rewarding. Kathy says, new rap song. I really want to thank you guys so much for spending the time with me today. 407,000 subscribers. 411. Oh yeah. Dang it, Tony. I told you. Congratulations, my friend. Coaching client, a lot of people that have done well on YouTube. Do you know that? I don't even know if I should say this. Can you imagine that Nick Nimmin actually paid me at one point? Can you imagine that? How is there a world where Nick Nimmin pays Brian G. Johnson for YouTube advice? Oh, goodness. One of the things that I found is pretty successful people. I don't know. They like, I'm quirky and I'm an acquired taste, but it seems like, I don't know, they like gravitate. It's possible. It's totally possible. If you've got a question, feel free to share it below and I'll do my best to address it. Susie. Hey, Susie. Is Susie here? If you're here, say, hey, I'm here and I'm hanging out. It's good to see. It's always nice to see who's hanging out. How about quitting YouTube? What does that really mean for you and me trying to move forward and grow a channel? Is it something we should be aware of? Absolutely. The average life cycle of a YouTuber is about 5 to 7 years. And typically by that time, people kind of fall off. We talked about that earlier. Does it mean that it's not worth it? Well, that depends on you, how bad you want it. What I know for me is I love to create content. And I took a big break because I needed to. Was going through a difficult time. But I know that I want to continue on YouTube, and it doesn't matter what other people are doing. I'm going to focus on my journey moving forward and achieving my dreams and goals on this platform. Tony says, absolutely means absolutely nothing. It's all about what you want and your drive. Absolutely. You know, but it's interesting, Tony, like you've done the thing, right? I think Tony is referring to my question about subscribers. I'm pretty sure that's what he's referring to. And the thing is when someone hasn't achieved a level of success, like I'm curious if you feel like, have you achieved what you're trying to accomplish? Have you achieved that thing? So for me, when I started, I wanted to get 10,000 subscribers in a year. I did that. I wanted to write a book. This is not it. This is my first book. I wrote Tube Ritual, which was my second book. I did that. I wanted to speak on stages. I started doing that right away. I wanted to speak on the biggest stage in terms of video marketing. That's Vid Summit. I did that. I wanted to hit 100,000 subscribers, and that took me, after I hit that 10,000K, I had to strive for 3.5 years, but I made it. And a lot of people were growing faster than me, but I still did the thing. And now I'm doing my best to really identify what my new goal is. Originally, I said I wanted 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I think that's true, but I'm more hell-bent on really growing and learning video and using new tools and focusing on making a video for this audience that I believe is really great. I want to make my personal best in hopes that you love it. And the fact is, some of the videos I've made in the past, one of my videos that I consider my best has 250,000 subscribers. So now I'm kind of, thinking like, what do I want? Q Aquatics and Exotics, not at all. have I achieved what I wanted? And see, that's the thing, Tony. A lot of people, like, they haven't hit that. For me, I want the subscribers, but I want to make, like, I remember when I sat with Nick Nimmin and I was just coming back. I'd been back for 2 or 3 videos. It'd been about 10 days. He's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Well, I need to make money, but what I really want to do is I want to make the best damn video possible." And I'm really enjoying that journey. You know what I mean? Like, I've been playing with green screen, and man, you should see some of the weird stuff I did. I got this one scene. I generated a really cool image. I'll kind of show you here. I can't show you on the screen, unfortunately, but I can show you on my iPad. I have this image now in my head because when I was a kid, I enjoyed Hammer horror, which is campy Dracula, Wolfman horror movies. Not incredibly scary like today's horror, but more campy. And I thought about a vampire that was a famous YouTuber and was broadcasting and live streaming to thousands. And that's the thing that I love about there, you can kind of see it. So all these minions, and then I put myself in this gray box, and these bats animated, and they moved around, and that's kind of the thing we can do. And so I've been doing a lot of that, but I need to balance that too because I do want to be moving forward. I do want to see growth, so I'm kind of balancing both. And one of the things I want to share with you, because I'm just kind of thinking about it, is what I'm doing right now really resembles my early days on YouTube because I came in and I was way weird, right? The hats, the poodles, the crazy jokes. It was too much for a lot of people. And I was like, it's too much for a lot of people. You need to go more vanilla. Because even if I try to go vanilla, I'm never going to be totally vanilla. I'm going to be quirky and weird. So I tried to do that. I tried to get over here and I ended up about here. So now I'm like, I'm playing with all this AI, but I can't lose sight that I'm a video creator and the cameras and the lenses and the editing and the overall YouTube has to be, I have to talk about that too. So I got 2 videos talking about the AI. One is how to really stand out on YouTube by leveraging AI and creating your own assets like the visuals, the images, the videos, because we can create assets that are different. Another one is based on actually the tools I'm using and so on. Yeah. Um, Tony says, I wanted to write a book. My third is being launched next month, but that's it for writing for a while. Yeah, the writing takes a while. You know what I mean? If I wrote a book, I would use AI, but I mean, even when I write with AI now, but the ideas come from me, the structure comes from me. I get it down on digital paper, and then I improve the writing, and that's how I would want to work. And that still takes a lot of time. I made it to 8K. Pow, fist bump. Power to you. Amazing. I'm so excited for that. Congratulations. 8K is a big deal. That's something that most channels never reach. Just the fact that you got past 1,000 and then 5,000 subscribers is incredible. Yeah, you refocused. I am struggling to figure out my target audience. I think when you have homekeeping channel, that's pretty self-explanatory. And I would say do your best to keep it simple on yourself. And if there are other channels that have what you want and they're making a certain kind of video and you are too, maybe you do understand your channel. And I don't know. I haven't worked with you enough, my friend, to know your channel. Although I've seen your videos, I look like people on my live stream, people that comments, I look. Yeah, I am. I'm really enjoying those images. Yeah, it's cool. Here's the thing. So today, when I made that presentation, and the good news is, I think I figured out how to make it happen. I don't know why I have such a hard time. I can share my screen in some ways with StreamYard, but in the past I could never share at all. But I can't share a window, which is ugh. Anyway. But like I made a lot of those images that you saw at the beginning of this presentation this morning. I spent about 4 hours. I'm kind of working through the presentation. And again, I started with it was going to be a video. I'm like, I'm going to use that content, put it in front of my 15-step uh, missing link. What do I call it? The looping method. And that's what we'll cover. And I created those videos and added them to the presentation. And I just love that. That's what attracted me to your channel, and I think that's the thing, I think one of the things that's really interesting is that is me, that quirky guy, I'm still that guy. I still do that. I still really enjoy that. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. It's probably not gonna get me the biggest channel, but again, I don't give a damn. I wanna be authentic. I wanna share what I'm excited about and do it in a way where I'm still honoring the audience. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just go off the rails and publish videos about anything because that won't work. I need to find the middle ground. What we talked about at the beginning was, what does success really mean to you? And for me, it means I need to see growth. I want to work with people. I want to have coaching clients. I want to make money. I want to do brand deals. And I also want to be quirky and fun, but not way over the top because that I need to find that place in the middle. Yes, tribe, exactly. YouTube quitters probably see more competition from AI videos flooding YouTube, and the COVID isolation viewer surge is now over. Viewer creators want to socialize more after COVID. I think for me, geology dude. I think I got that right. That's a big word. Like I mentioned, it takes a toll. It takes a lot of time and energy, and we can't do all the things. Tom Scott mentioned, it's all consuming. Kimberly, a YouTuber that's in our community, she's been blowing up over the last year and a half. And she talks about, when I'm not filming, I'm thinking about it. Me too, all the time, nonstop. And when I watch a movie, I'm studying and learning and looking at camera angles and looking at delivery and thinking about what they're doing because I want to improve. As an artistic creator, I want to see how far I can go. So I think that's a really big part of it is that takes a huge toll. And at some point, we need a break. For me personally, I took 4 years away. I don't consider what I did from 2019 until 3 months ago really being on YouTube. Because if you want to grow, listen, this is important. You have to give it all you have within reason. If you're married, your spouse has to come first. If you have kids, they have to come first. But you have to really give YouTube as much as you have to have a fighting chance. It's too competitive. It's too hard. There's too many things to learn. And it doesn't mean if you don't have that right now, it doesn't mean you should stop, but it does mean you want to know that. You want to know at some point, I need to carve out time and I really want to. But until then, I'll carry on the best I can. And this is the important part, right? Because when you do that, you still will learn. You still will pick up ideas and so on. Loving the new Brian even better. I'm the same Brian. I've always been both. You know what I mean? I guess maybe you're meaning uh the new version that we currently have 4 years away. It's just so exciting for me is because I now can have that focus that's needed. So that's pretty cool. I find it hard to find time to edit. Yeah, Ray, it's really hard, and what I would say is, and I don't know, like maybe every minute of your day is totally packed. Like I said, like when I took a step away, I spent my time, a lot of it outdoors with a camera in my hand, an extra battery in my pocket, a backpack, tons of gear. lugging it around, trying to take one perfect shot of a eagle, of twin baby moose, of an osprey with a fish in its talons. I got lucky with coyotes, and I really went after it. I really wanted it. And I don't do that as much now because I have to. If I want to do this, I've got to treat it like a job. Now, truth be told, I'll probably find a little bit more balance as the summer we get closer to summer and whatnot. But right now I'm pushing pretty hard. And I've got a team of people helping me edit. Like, that's a thing you can do, right? Like, eventually you can hand off editing. Maybe that's something you can consider. Maybe you watch TV every night. Maybe you can cut out a half hour 3 nights a week to edit. There's things that we can do. And again, I don't know. I'm just talking. I've been using Ecamm for my lives. I've heard a lot of good things about Ecamm. Been dealing with burnout, and I've taken about a month off. I'm at 3,600 subs, and I'm going to refocus and double down. Yeah, I talked about that. I don't know if you were here. Probably not. We've been going for 2.5 hours. One of the things to really consider is that I don't like the idea of you have to be consistent. What I like the idea of is you have to strive to create a body of work, videos, or live streams that matter to viewers. And by focusing on the 15-step process that we laid down in this live stream, you can. Anybody can. You can if you want to bad enough. It's hard. I'm not talking to you, real world garage. I'm talking to anybody. It's hard, but we can. And the moment we decide to do that and we do double down, we can grow. And in the beginning, it's mandatory because there's too much to understand. And we can't. We might think we know, this is going to be a breeze. I think a lot of people come into YouTube like that. It's like, phew. That was a clip I wanted to add to my last video, is I wanted to like slap the camera and like do a cowboy spin around kind of thing. Yeah. Sure isn't easy though, huh? Making it happen. I don't go anywhere. I'm at home or work. I don't have a social life. Me too. I do though. I do have friends. It's interesting. You get older. Like I'm not married too. Like, so I'm not married, no kids. So I have a lot of time to dedicate to it. And it's still challenging. And another thing, I have Lyme's disease. So yesterday I was so exhausted because the day before I filmed 2 videos, did a podcast, met with a brand over live, and then I did a live stream. So that was a lot of energy. And yesterday I had nothing left. So, again, the title of this live stream, video on demand, is self-awareness. So I'm aware of that. That's how I work. It's okay. Take the day. Tomorrow you'll be better. And today, hitting the ground running, I love being weird me. Yes, Johnny, we know. We love that too about you, Johnny. Finally, nice to catch you on one of your live streams. Shark Scraper, it's great to have you here, man. I really appreciate that. Still 39 people here, and we've been going for 2.5 hours. Amazing. I'm trying to strengthen up like Nick Nimmin and D, how they go for 3 hours or whatever, Roberto Blake. And I still didn't go as long as I wanted with that presentation. The good news is I know how to make it happen in the future. I'll do slides. I'll export with, was it good settings? I think it was PDF. Yeah. I think it was, and somehow the slides did advance. So that was good. Anyway, that was just a little conversation in my head. Never mind about that. Your attitude and delivery is the first reason I subscribed 3 years ago. I'm quirky on my channel. That's awesome, my friend. I love that, Robin. Maybe that's your audience, though they don't need to have kids, but think about those people are also at home most of the time. Just think about the sort of people who could be in your situation. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I think the fact of the matter is, Tony, I think anybody who wants to grow on YouTube and they're in the right age demographic, I think that's the right audience. And I think if I keep it simple like that, like home keeping channel, this is it. Don't overcomplicate it. What's my audience? They're YouTubers. They're between 30 and 55. They want to grow a channel. They're not sure. They're looking for some advice. They want the technical details. They want the strategy. They value production and they see that that's important. They also understand that they're going to use an iPhone or this or that, and it's my goal to deliver that. That's it. You know what I mean? Maybe that's helpful. Maybe it's not. I'm going to try targeting this year people in small homes, less space. Awesome. Perfect. Yes, do it. I think that's a really great way to get started. And I think over time you can branch out a little bit. You know what I mean? But having a clear direction is helpful. And here's the thing, work on your delivery, work on the planning. I think from what I've seen, I think you can improve how you communicate a little bit because fact of the matter is we all can. I can. I want to. I'm actually enjoying watching movies on YouTube even more now because I have a better appreciation of what it takes. Plus, I'm studying for how to improve. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing, right? If you're really into it, we start to see the reality of what good YouTubers are able to create and how far off we are from that. It's for some people that can be intimidating, but if you don't start and you don't try, then you never know. And that would be a sad thing too. So I wish I could have some help, someone help me one-on-one with the issues. The issue is money. I don't have the money for one-on-one mentoring. So Kathy, go in the Tube Ritual group and post specific questions and I'll help you all I can. And that goes for anybody. If you search if you search Facebook for Tube Ritual, join my my free Facebook group. There's over 24,000 people in there, and post specific questions, and I'll do my best to help you out. Yeah, and that's the process of taking one thing at a time. Yeah, Tony says I'm still editing all my videos, but I do want to outsource that now. Oh, I do want to. It's funny because I have a team and the last few videos I've edited because I still want to edit. And sometimes like communicating all the things I want is a little challenging, but I need to let go of that and just know that someone can do a great job. And I will. Some of the stuff with AI, I think it's been a bit tricky, but I'll figure it out. I have about 5 years ago, I heard you say to treat this like a job. So for 4 years, I posted 2 videos a week as if it was my job. And then I started a live streaming a year ago when I got when I got a few horrible. I'm not sure about the last part, but yeah, exactly. Treat it like a job. Been figuring it out since I started. It's been 3 years. That's what's frustrating. You know what? I know it's frustrating, my friend, but here's the thing. Like, remember I shared, you've been here, I think pretty much a good part of the live stream. I talked about my journey in Nick's. I talked about the fact, when I connected with Nick, I simply said, hey, I love what you're doing. I saw you on Daryl's channel. I think Daryl was celebrating a milestone. He was publishing regularly on his channel. And he was like, I'm going to choose one person. And I think he chose Nick, or Nick was one of the 5. I think he chose Nick. And I'm like, love what you're doing. You've got great delivery. And then he totally eclipsed me. And it was frustrating for me too. But like, for me personally, I don't know where you're at, but it wasn't helpful for me to be frustrated. And the moment I could be like, hey, there is something here. I do have people coming back. I do have an audience. And if you have regular viewers, if you see the same names, you have the same thing. And the moment I started really valuing that is the moment I had this huge weight lifted. And furthermore, I was able to focus more on the creating. And I'm still like, I got plenty of issues too, hung up about all kinds of things, and it's challenging, but it's possible. I love the editing process. I tend to get lost trying to make everything perfect, though. Yeah, there's definitely a point where the value of what you get back for the time spent editing is diminishing. There's a point of diminishing returns. So I think it's important to know what that is. And I go past that all the time, and I'm okay with that. Because again, I'm trying to make something I really love and value, but also it's important to value some of the other things like publish regularly, publish often, publish, once a week, publish 3 videos a month, spend an extra week work polish. Like you have to find the balance of all those things. Yeah, perfect. Arnie, that's exactly the way to think about it for me personally, is to see how far I can go. That's the only thing. That's what I want. I want to see how far I can go. Your AI images are awesome. Keep it up. But do you think that there will be a pushback to AI generated uh, videos as AI content? Um, it's complicated, but this is how I think about AI. When you start and you have vision for what you want to create, and when you're leading the charge and you're telling the tools what to create, when you're creating bullet points for the flow of the video, and then you're voice dictating or scripting or writing yourself, but you're using AI to improve the writing, to shorten the writing, to expand on an issue. For example, in the past, I'd be like, I want to cover this. I want to talk about the power of social proof. Now I understand it, but I need to communicate it clearly. So now I can just say, write about social proof. Boom, that section is done. So in this regard, I'm really leading the charge. I'm telling the AI tools what I want them to do. And then I'm using all these assets. I'm generating assets based on the exact thing I'm saying. That is very, very different from someone saying, make me a video about the decline of the stock market in 1952. Very different approaches. And what I think will happen is, yes, well, I might have to tick a box that says AI generated. Will my viewers care? I don't think my core viewers will care, not one bit, because they know what I'm creating. And I think my video will gain, exposure in the algorithm because of that. And then I'll be able to move forward and drive views. So for me, I'm not overly worried. And again, I think this is having a belief system where I believe that YouTube isn't going to set things in place that's going to overly harm my channel because I'm using imagery. Like, do you guys see a downward trend in my videos because I use AI? For some people, yes, they're adamantly opposed to AI. But here's the rub. Some people love AI. Some people are really interested. Some people may want to watch what I'm doing because of that. So it's a give and take. And I definitely think I'll be able to move forward, and people that use it in that way will do the same. Oh, you have Lyme's disease too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it. It's so tricky, and I had a bunch of tests and they couldn't find it. And then I did a specific test and they found it. The blur is back. Yes, the blur is back, and it's symmetrical too. Whoa. I think yeah, we're at f1.6. Oh, I could even go down to f4, but this is good enough. I remember, interesting, like, can you guys see? Oh, see, I hate that. You see how, check this out. Like, this is the thing. This is how bad I am now. And there's too many things for me to think about. But this is not the right position for the microphone. Let me see if I can put it right. No. See, I don't like it at all. That's why I'm going to go a silent live stream. I can get rid of the microphone. But yeah, I wish this wouldn't get in the way. I guess I could have it over here, but again, living in the real world and everything was set up kind of like this. I can't tell you how many times I break down the studio. Peter McKinnon said the same thing. A lot of successful YouTubers, same thing, breaking things down, rearranging, always trying to find that better, you know? Self-awareness is everything. Also, be kind to yourself. Yeah. Yeah, be kind to yourself. Like, be okay with your journey. Enjoy the journey. Here's the other thing. Homekeeping channel, you're like, "Oh, I'm frustrated." At the end of the day, you know what? Like, for me personally, this is just me sharing. Take it or leave it, but the journey is where the juice is. The juice is in the journey. That's where the reward is. It's fun to see the growth. It's fun to see things happening. It's fun to make a video that you're excited about. And the more I keep doing that, believing I can make it happen, the more I've been able to make it happen. Hey, thank you so much. Yarn Geek says it's a great way to spend a Friday afternoon. FYI, every so often you get a green sphere. Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I think it has to do with like, oh, right there. I don't know what happened, but what was with that pop-up? I think it's just the software. Maybe it's StreamYard. If I go like this, something might, or maybe it won't happen anymore, but that's just the software. I will rewatch the stream and take notes. Thanks, Britt. Don't forget, 65 years old. Yes, I get it. I'm 58, so I guess we got to do the best we can with what we got. Everyone has a story. Brian is right. Don't overcomplicate it. Turn the camera on. Do you exactly. This is very cool. Pardon my ADHD. Randy, I'm glad you've enjoyed the live stream. Robert G, what's going on? Still watching. I'm doing good. We're hanging out. We're taking questions. I'm rambling. Someone said something about Chat GPT. AI is made or broken in the prompt, and the prompt is made by the input. In the video that I have coming out, Tony, you're totally right. I go really deep in a lot of the imagery I want. And by going deep and knowing what I want before I go to the tool, I'm more likely to get something back that I really love, which then I can build upon. So first I create an image. Then I create a video sometimes. Then I take the video, I upscale it, I slow it down, I add frames, I edit it. I add effects on top of it in Final Cut Pro. I add a Ken Burns pan and zoom, move around. I add some bokeh. So then all of a sudden my still images have life. And that's just the still images, but definitely it begins in the prompt. All right, guys, I think that's it for me. We went 2 hours and 43 minutes on a Friday. I really enjoyed my time here. Thank you for your patience with the beginning of the live stream. It's just part of the process, and things will happen. And perhaps it's how we react and how we do our best to stay grounded and move past them. And I don't know how, but somehow we figured it out. Thank you, Otis, up there. Power to the poodles. Subscribe today and feed a poople. Oh my God. Oh, so embarrassing. Subscribe today and feed a poodle. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Peace, power, prosperity, progress, playlist, pixie dust, and yes, poodles. Cheers. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Brian G. Out.